is
Mark. Hi.
And I'm
this
Anne.
is. And tonight we're going to be talking about starting off in witchcraft. So, starting off in witchcraft is such an exciting and enriching journey, but it is important to approach it with caution and mindfulness. And so we're going to talk about some key considerations to keep in mind. So the first one is research and understanding. So I would say avoid superficial knowledge. Take time to research various traditions and practices, and understanding the history and context can provide a deeper appreciation for the craft. Mark?
Well, I think absolutely. Once you realise that there's a path to get onto, then really just read lots of books on it, study it, go to something like a good festival, like what we do, and where you can talk to different people from different backgrounds, different practices, and do tread gently on the path until you have a confidence.
Anne?
Yeah, I'd say make sure, don't just read a spell and go, oh, I can do that, when you've never done anything like it before in your life. Because you don't know whether you're doing it in a protective circle for a start, and what sort of protections you need to put down to protect you and your environment.
So the thing I would say about research and understanding is seek reliable sources. Choose reputable books, choose reputable websites and communities, and look for authors that have a solid understanding of witchcraft and its ethical implications. So don't be very careful on what social media that you look at. If someone tells you to do something, go away and research it before you do anything.
And trust your inner gut feeling.
Definitely.
You know, we all have this thing, this intuition, this gut feeling, and if it doesn't feel right for you, then it probably isn't. So just find people that make you feel happy, that you're happy to be with, happy to learn from.
Comfortable.
And comfortable
with, yeah.
Okay, so number 2, section 2, ethics and responsibility. So familiarise yourself with ethical guidelines. Now there is a big difference between Wicca and witches. So Wicca is a sort of religion inside witchcraft, and they have a Wiccan reed that says harm none. So basically it means that when you do a spell, you can't harm any. The normal witches, we have our own ethics. We don't follow the same ones as the Wiccan reed. So you have to consider your own consequences of your actions and your own intentions.
That's, I think, absolutely true. So much the individual is vital in witchcraft. It's not like the religion that tells you what to do. You've got to feel it for yourself, not telling you what's right or wrong. You must go back to you. It's all about you, essentially, and you've got to feel comfortable, and you've got to know with your own ethics of whether something's right or wrong. But no, we are different to Wicca. It is traditional witchcraft. Sometimes this rule of 3, but that only applies if you wanted to.
Anne?
I was going to say about the rule of 3.
Yeah.
Mark's done that one for me.
Yeah. So it's, you know, we all believe different things. I don't believe in the rule of 3, and I don't believe that harm none. I don't believe in that because
Well,
I just karma.
Well, absolutely
Yeah.
karma. But also, like, if really spell work's about what things they have to be important to you. The things that you want to do spells about. It's not a game. You want to do it because you desperately need money. You desperately want love. But also, if someone hurt one of your daughters, are you not going to do?
Let me fucking put in that freezer.
If someone says, oh, you can't do a hex on those people.
I fucking can. I fucking can, and I will.
Can you get a big enough bottle to put them in the freezer?
There will not be a hex in this world that I would not do on them.
No.
In fact, I did read on social media the other day, and I did actually put a comment that something really dreadful had happened to somebody's child. They've been horrendously bullied and tormented and terrorised, beaten up, and quite honestly, I just put a thing. She said she'd sent a hex. I went, I'll send one as well.
Yeah.
Because fuck that shit.
No.
Kids have
Sorry.
got enough.
Anyway, be very clear about your intentions when you're
Absolutely.
performing rituals or spells, and focus on positive outlooks. And if you feel that you need to use magic for manipulation or harm, then that is down to you and your own conscience. We do not gatekeep at this coven.
No.
So, next, section 3,
Ooh.
personal safety. So, if you plan to work with herbs, crystals, or other natural materials, ensure you know how to use them safely. Some herbs are toxic and can cause allergic reactions. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, deadly nightshade, it's a herb that we use in some spells, and it's extremely toxic. So,
You put a-
aconite
You
is
put a
another
great
one.
post on this morning, and it said the difference between medicine and poison
It's
is
how
the
much you take.
dose, isn't it?
I'll tell you a
Something like
very,
that.
very quickly, I'll just say this mad
Yeah.
story. So, years ago, when I first moved here, and before I was really into my herbs, I decided to pull up these, what I thought wasn't quite sure what they were. Anyway, I felt really weird in the afternoon. I felt so,
Really?
honestly, it was like if anybody's ever got too stoned, it's like a throwing a whitey. That's what I felt
I know
like.
exactly which ones you
And it
want
was
to know.
all absolutely like, and then I was shivering, I was sick, I was throwing up.
God.
And then it was only like a couple of years later when I started getting right into my herbs and poisonous herbs. It was aconite growing in my garden.
And you'd be
Loads of
pulling
it.
it with
And I
bare
was just
hands
pulling
or
it,
something.
but obviously I've
Oh.
always had cuts because of my dog.
Yeah, so
I've
it
always
gets
got
into the blood.
scratches,
Yeah.
and it got into my bloodstream and like sent me do lally tap. So that was quite funny.
God.
I was really careful after that,
Yeah.
and that actually got me a real good interest in herbs. That was one of the
Yeah.
reasons why I got
Yeah.
so into it, because my garden's absolutely full of poisonous herbs.
There it is.
Absolutely full of it.
I think there's a garden you could visit at Alnwick Castle.
There
in
is,
Northumberland.
yeah.
I think it's called the Poison Garden. or
Yes, it
something,
is.
Which you could go and learn.
But I think I've probably got
I bet you've got them all
here.
out there. But there
Julie's
isn't.
just got them growing
But
next
there
to
isn't
the
a sign.
lavender.
There isn't a
Yeah.
sign that says danger there.
No, you
So-
can touch
But
it.
it
so
is
you won't-
true. I mean, some herbs can be very, very toxic. I mean, people just get carried away now. Like they'll make some St John's wort tea,
Oh, God.
and the problem is St John's wort's a contradiction with many other medications. So you can do a right screw up if you
I
start
can't do
taking
so. I
certain.
can't take it.
You know, if you take medication, you have to research any herbs that you use either to drink or even touching them. You just need to be so careful.
I think you're really saying it's a minefield.
It
And
is
for
a bit of a
people that-
minefield.
If you're watching this, do get into your herbs. Herbalism, and Julie's an excellent herbalist, and I would only trust her with something. But don't just go messing about with this, because this could seriously damage your health.
Lots of good books.
They're
out
good
there.
books.
A
Good
lot
books.
of mushrooms.
Especially
as
the
well.
one that's called So You Think You're a Witch, written
Yes.
by Coven of Gaia, available from Amazon or our website.
Oh.
Just sort of throw that one.
Throw that- we
Just
have
throw
to put
that
it in
one
there
in.
somewhere. But there's a lot of mushrooms, isn't there, that you
Oh,
can't
mushrooms
pick them
too.
by bare hands.
No, you need to be
That's-
careful. Anyway, we'll get back on. Emotional and mental well-being. So we need to engage in practices that promote mental and emotional health, because witchcraft can sometimes stir up deep emotions. So you can have to be prepared for any feelings, and we've just seen that because
Yeah.
I've just done a live on Yule incense for our online coven, and one of them was crying her eyes out because
Yeah.
the meditation emotionally deep hurt her. So these are all the sort of things that you need to be careful about, isn't it?
It's very deep. A lot of what we do goes deeply. Like another thing that we may probably talk about another time is something called shadow work. And this is really getting to the depths of you and what makes you tick, really. And it's really important if you want to get to be a better witch, a better person, really got to go inside as much as outside.
Just showing off my fucking jobs, isn't it? Do you have anything to say on emotional and mental well-being? I mean, meditation's great for
As
mental
I meant,
well-being. isn't
meditation.
it?
Getting yourself into a routine as well. So if you get up earlier in the morning and spend 5 minutes just on you and your self-growth and self-empowerment, that has a big effect on your mental and health.
So
mental
that's
well-being.
doing a lot for yourself. I
Mhm.
think there's so much you can do for yourself. But then if you start to mix with other people, I think where mental well-being can be, you've just got to find that you mix with the right people.
Well, yeah.
You know, they have to be the right people that will assist you.
And that actually brings
Oh,
us on
sorry.
to section 4, which
Oh.
is community and connections. And the main point of that is choose your circle wisely. And if you do decide to join a community, so there's lots of communities and covens, communities that are called moots, where you go along and you talk about paganism. Make sure it aligns with your beliefs and your values. Not all groups are supportive and not all groups are healthy. So avoid toxic influences. Be careful of those who will take advantages of newcomers.
Yeah.
Trust your instincts. Go with that gut feeling.
Well, we always come back to that, the gut instinct, I think, especially when you're going, we talk about being on the path, but the path is really the unbeaten track. You're really putting foot after foot, not on a trodden track. You know, you're really working it out for yourself and finding it as you go along, and you really need to have the right people around you to help you and identify and work with you. So many people are solitary practitioners.
All right, stop waffling.
So,
I've got nothing to say, carry on.
Just
But-
fucking loves to waffle. He does.
but it's important to have
That's it,
the right
isn't it?
people around you, isn't it?
Yes. Okay. So,
Especially
number
ones
5.
that talk a lot.
Yes. Practice patience.
What's
Right,
that?
take your time. Witchcraft's a personal journey. No need to rush. Allow yourself to grow and allow yourself to enjoy it, because what happens, you see people who get into witchcraft and they want to do everything and they zoom through it. But you know, if you just take your time and you will really enjoy each little bit. Just it's like going to a party and you're ramming all the food into your mouth, all the nice stuff, but you're not tasting it.
No.
So witchcraft, just take it and try it and practice with it a few weeks, which is another good reason that book's really good, because you've got shitloads of exercises in there to do. It's a step-by-step shorty one of those.
So there's too many people that are in a rush to name what path they're on.
Yeah,
But
take the
it
time.
took me 30 years to work out which path I was on.
You still ain't found it.
No, I'm probably on the wrong path completely. So yeah, take your time, don't be in a hurry.
Right.
No, I concur, but that's all I've got to say. No, absolutely.
All right, shut up. Celebrate small steps. Recognise and appreciate your progress, no matter how small. Each step you take is part of your learning journey, and enjoy it. Enjoy it so much. Right, number 6, balancing beliefs. So if you have other spiritual or religious beliefs, find ways to integrate them harmoniously with your witchcraft practice. There is no need to abandon your roots to explore new paths. And stay open-minded, be willing to adapt and modify your practice as you learn more and more. And I'll give you an example about that now. So we have lots of Christian witches, and like a lot of them have Mary, mother of God, as a deity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a Mary Magdalene, there's a whole witchcraft group.
They were
the-
much more important, weren't they, in the beginning of the Bible, before the Bible. The Mary Magdalene and Mary were much stronger characters.
Yes.
They were really important characters, and they've been downgraded through the patriarchy of the Christian
Yes.
Church. They were really important. I think they say that one of the Marys of the two was right up there with the with his followers. They were like really a teacher within it. They were really high up.
I think that's Mary Magdalene, wasn't it?
Mary Magdalene.
But you know, I mean, so many, lots of people worship Jesus in witchcraft.
Yeah.
You know, as one of the ascended masters, which is absolutely fine. You don't need to throw away your roots in witchcraft. Witchcraft is a path that you can actually do on whatever you like,
You shouldn't
and
be
nobody
forced.
can say it is wrong.
No.
Shouldn't be forced to give up your roots,
No.
even if you still have the same beliefs with those roots.
Exactly.
Witchcraft is what you want it to be, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Journaling. Keep a book of shadows. Document your experience, spells, rituals, and insights. And this will help you track your journey and your progress. and reflect on your experiences. And it's so good when you do a spell to mark everything down, because when it works, you can look back and see what worked. And when it fucking don't work and it's a shit show, you can see why it's a shit show.
Try these things. Always make sure you write down the date, the time, the moon phase. All of those things will have an effect on whether your spell's going to work or not.
Absolutely. 12:45 Sunday, turn the dog into a unicorn. You've got to write these things down, so you remember when you did it.
That way you can get another unicorn.
Respect nature and ecosystems. So sustainable practices when gathering herbs, ensure you do so ethically. Respect the environment and local ecosystems. So basically, if you decide you're going to go out there and you're going to make some dandelion oil, or you're going to collect some dandelions to dry them, don't take every single dandelion you can find. You just take a little small amount from that area, because especially dandelions, they're the first green of the spring, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're what the birds and the bee and everything feeds on.
Yeah. Rabbits.
You know, everything
uses
uses them. So just be really careful and remember to say thank you to the main plants before you take them. Same as if you take from a tree, remember to thank the tree and leave a little offering, even if it's just giving the plant a drink.
So tread lightly on the earth.
Tread lightly on the amount of things that
And
you
what
take.
you take.
I collect wood for wands. I'll normally only take fallen branches. I'll try not to take a branch off the tree if I can help it.
And beware of cultural appropriation. Be mindful of practices and traditions, and respect the cultural significance of various elements, and avoid appropriating from marginalised communities. So obviously everyone's talking about white sage, that there's a shortage of white sage, or that we don't use it correctly. And you know, we actually have our own garden sage, which is actually just as good, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You know, we use our own sage for our cleansing. So when we dry them, you know, you see the little sage sticks. I mean, if you point the camera there, Joe, you'll see that's all forage from our own gardens.
So it's ethically sourcing
It's ethically
things,
sourcing.
so that you know they're from renewable.
Looking ethical, we are.
We are.
Very
We're
ethical.
green. Although we're purple,
green.
we're
Should
green.
have green clothes actually. To match our greenness. Right, okay, right, number 9, critical thinking. Question beliefs. It's really healthy to evaluate and question everything you learn. Don't accept everything at face value. Seek to understand why certain practices are followed. So investigate, ask questions of people. Nobody should ever mind answering a question. If a witch doesn't want to answer a question, then they are not a good witch. Would you agree?
Absolutely. You should understand, not just follow when it's like it's following rich or following anything. Question it. You have got to be happy with everything you're doing, and then you'll love it and you can contribute.
Yeah. Right. No, so, avoid a dogma. Witchcraft should be a personal exploration. It isn't a rigid doctrine. Stay true to your beliefs and adapt your practice as needed.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah. And that's why we're eclectic.
We just take what we fucking like
we take
from
the
wherever.
best bits. With respect, we take the best bits of all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
We do. So, and number 10, have fun, enjoy the journey, and remember that witchcraft is meant to be a fulfilling and enjoyable practice. Explore and allow yourself to have fun as you learn and grow.
Most definitely. Enjoy it.
It's not a hobby, it's a way of life.
Very true.
And next week we will be doing a live YouTube on Yule and how you can celebrate. So make sure you join us next Thursday for our live on Yule and how to celebrate. Bye.
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 Bye-bye.